Everybody wants to get educated well because that is the way in which you'll succeed in life. Therefore, irrespective of time it is, I believe education is very important. I learned knowledge and use that knowledge to be the best in the trade. The world is always in for change. We should have the ability to understand the change that is coming in.
Hello and welcome to shiksha.com. I am Deepak Singh with you. In today's video and in today's episode of Shiksha Success Stories, we are speaking with the Chairman of Board of Governors of IIT Roorkee, Mr. BVR Mohan Reddy. Welcome to shiksha.com, sir.
Thank you, Deepak.
How has been the education journey in your life?
To me, education is the biggest gift my parents gave me. I used to say that, the middle class dreams of 1960s and 70s for any parent was to get their children educated well. And that's what the dream of my parents was. It's true for, I think, even now, because what I'm changing is not the dream. I'm changing the 60s to 70s. Even now, I think everybody wants to get educated well because that is the way in which you'll succeed in life. So my parents did the same. My father actually was a police officer. My mother was a housemaker. I have a sister who is elder to me. We're 4 siblings, elder to me by a year. And my mother decided that she'll make her a doctor and she'll make me an engineer. And she was successful. My sister is a medical doctor, actually. The whole economies around the world are becoming knowledge economies. It's the knowledge which will drive us. It is not any longer brick and mortar industries. If you look at even India, for that matter, till the liberalization happened in 1991, 1992, till such time, the industrialists were also brick and mortar industries. It was a very capital intensive environment that was there. So understandably, if you probably had to create a new industry, it had to be a Tata or a Birla, or the recent origin, it was an Ambani, or a few little pockets were there, the Singhanias and Kanpur and so on and so forth. But in the current world, what has happened is that knowledge has become so important, moved into prime position, primarily driven by technology. Therefore, irrespective of time it is, I believe education is very important. And certainly, I think people also have to ask this question, I keep saying, that I asked myself fairly early in my life, and is what is the purpose of a life that's there? Why am I here? What am I like? And I say, you have to don't choose a profession that I have choose to be in. You can choose anything that you want to be in. You can be a journalist like Deepak, but be the best. You can be an artist, you can be a musician, you can be a theater artist, you can be a politician for that matter. But politician, what's the objective? Social service. Do that well. So therefore, I looked for opportunities, and entrepreneurship did not come very easily for me. It took a while because when I graduated in 1970s, early 1970s, India was not an open economy. Technology was not at what it is today. So I also had a handicap in terms of not having enough of money with me. So therefore, I waited for about 1991 when I started this company. I became an entrepreneur. But one thing as a message I send to your audience is that if you think of something you want to do, work towards that. I've worked towards that for 20 years. I didn't waste the time. I didn't just say, let's wait for an opportunity to come by and wait. So, but what did I do? I skilled myself well. I actually thought by 1977, I was fairly clear the future is going to be in computers. That's how, I've not forgotten my mechanical engineering, but I learned about computers. And if you look at it, my lifespan at this point of time, 72 years old. Those days, engineering used to be 5 years. I earned an engineering degree by going to 5 years. Then what did I do the next 50 years then? I learned something new, right? So the 5-year learning is one part of it, which labels me as a mechanical engineer. But the rest of the learning that came by should label me in different things. I don't want to get labeled by anything else at all. What do? I want to amass knowledge. Knowledge for whose sake? My sake. My sake to ensure that the humanity becomes a better place to live.
Is that success for you, learning knowledge or being the best in your trade?
It's a combination of both of them, right? I learned knowledge and used that knowledge to be the best in the trade. For example, people had serious challenges with quality of software work being done in India. Knowledge showed me that the best way is you need to put quality systems in place, which will make sure that you will get an accuracy levels of 99.9%. Our customers were used to be surprised because our SLAs, as they called, that service level agreements, used to show something like 95% or 97.5 at times. That's the code mistakes can be there. Whereas we used to hit a 99.9% at times. And they used to say, how do you get it? So I had the knowledge in terms of how to build a quality system. I built the quality system. So I became the best by getting knowledge.
So if I ask you the definition of success in one line, what will that be?
People say, why do you work so hard at 72? I keep saying I should work more harder at 72 because I have much lesser fuse that's left behind for me. So therefore, it all depends upon how you perceive yourself and how you perceive success to be.
How has been the transition for IIT Roorkee to be able to maintain its relevance in this changing times of engineering?
I think it's been very good. They did it extremely well. The engineering profession, engineering education is progressing in the same path as what IIT Roorkee has done. But what IIT Roorkee has done very well is progress much faster. IIT Roorkee has done extraordinary work in producing those outcomes. That is, they just not started the departments that are there. They made sure that they had the right faculty. They created the right type of curriculum, the right pedagogy. They created the laboratories that are required, the equipment that are required, elements which make it successful. And then they made sure that the students got benefited from all these stuff. So other institutions are also doing that. Some may have limitation. For instance, funds could be a limitation in some instances. Whereas not that we had free flow of funds that happened to IIT Roorkee. They also were the shoestrung budgets that they had. But within the budgets, they have done well. So what they have done is this transformation. The world is always in for change. That we have to accept. So therefore, engineering also, it's the same. IIT Roorkee is the same. Change will come. We don't know what is next. We should have the ability to understand the change that is coming in. We have to make sure that we make best use of what we have in the environment.
Right.
ChatGPT can be very well used.
Right.
There can be some very good applications. I don't require to have a personal assistant at this point of time.
No, students are also doing assignments through ChatGPT.
That is to a certain extent can be accepted. But I don't think that will last for long. We'll find ways and means by which that can be. We can have another chat GPT which says, has it come out of chat GPT?
Right. In the core branches like mechanical or engineering, where students get admission, they complete their studies, but then they transition towards computer science engineering. Do you see a struggle for relevance for these engineering courses in institutes if students are not opting for these?
No, I don't think so. There is a fairly large amount of amplification happening in technology because there are multiple uses of technology at this point of time. And an example I gave was precision agriculture was one, healthcare is the other. It'll all be leveled off. What we will see is now, I think in AICT, we made a recommendation that only 50% of the courses they need to take core courses, that's in mechanical engineering. Other 50% is completely left to them.
Okay.
And that left to them will be computers, or it can be music. Because after all, your left brain and the right brain have to be equally well developed.
What do you see the role of engineering and the prospects for engineering aspirants in the upcoming world?
See, two things. A $5 trillion economy has to be true. $1 trillion out of the $5 trillion has to come to digital only. So therefore, digital infrastructure is very, very important. So therefore, we need to build those digital infrastructure, create all those applications for making sure that we are in a position to hit that number. The second one is digital or outside. You can't definitely ignore technology. Technology is a part and parcel of what our lives are going to be. So for the $5 trillion aspirational objective of building, I think in the next 2 years, we should have 2025 is when the $5 trillion. I have a feeling that's likely to happen.
Okay.
But I think what we should do is adoption has to happen. And my message back to you through your channel is we have to improve the quality of education in this country. We truly want to become a nation which is known for knowledge, we're known for skills. We have to definitely ensure that the education systems go through improvement.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deepak.
प्लीज इस वीडियो को लाइक शेयर जरूर कीजिएगा और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना बिल्कुल मत भूलिएगा। थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग।